Good morning. So today I've got a bit of a challenge set up. This was requested by Edin E, I believe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, in the comments of one of my previous videos. They requested that I fly from Seoul to Tokyo. So that's what I've set up here right now. I'm departing on Seoul. I picked one that would give me a good view of the city. There's another one that loops kind of way out and around, but I figured this one going up over the mountains, I could look down into the city. We'll see how that goes. Then we just shoot across to Tokyo here. There were a couple of different routes. I chose kind of a southern approach. I may rethink this just because I want to make this kind of a challenge. I liked this one because I kind of have to come in, descend, go over this island, then bank right, and then bank left into my runway here. So I thought this would be kind of an interesting challenge now that I kind of got the autopilot under control and I kind of at least once have made this thing work right. So I'm not sure. I may try to do a flip over and approach in from the north.
366 contact Seoul departure on 121.4. Good day.
Going to 121.4 Airbus 366. Seoul departure Airbus Hotel Lima 7366 is at 1,000 feet climbing 12,000 feet.
Airbus Hotel Lima 7366 Seoul departure altimeter 29.902 continue to V265N as planned. Seoul departure Jeju Air 143 is passing 9,400 feet climbing 10,000 feet. Jeju Air 143 Seoul departure altimeter 29.902 continue as planned. Jeju Air 143 contact inbound center on 125.45. Good day. One two five decimal 45 for Jeju Air 143.
Alright, so before we zip on into high speed and basically fly all the way to Tokyo, I wanted to do a quick chat about Seoul. Sadly, it's a lot like Costa Rica, where they just don't have a lot of textures in, and the satellite imagery is very old, and I'm slightly surprised by that because South Korea is such a Western influenced partner of the United States after the Korean War, whether they like us or not. It's just kind of sad that the satellite imagery is so terrible and the building mappings are so terrible, because this really doesn't look like such a modern city from here. I know there's more city over there and there's a lot more going on than just where the airport is, but it just basically, from what I've seen here, I'm not expecting a lot. Like the stadium, and there looked like to be some cool mall building right back there that you just can't really see anything of, and it's flat. So downtown Seoul over there, I'm not sure is going to be all that different. The plane's going to bank a little more here in a minute, and we'll see what we see. Let me pull the nav map over. So all these purple lines, I believe, represent various pathways in and out, but it should be part of the demilitarized zone along here. If I'm right, Pyongyang is somewhere over there, I think, and I don't know what that is. Sorry if you're from Korea, I don't know your country all that well, but I do believe that this is demilitarized. I know Seoul is pretty close, and Pyongyang isn't too far either, if I am pronouncing that correct. So, kind of a cool area. Be interested to see kind of how much North Korea looks, or what North Korea looks like texture-wise, but I really wouldn't get my hopes up based on how South Korea looks. I'm loving some of these roads like this, just engineering beauty going right through the mountains, coming in and out, just really cool. How accurate that is, I'm not sure. This one, I don't know if that actually goes under the mountain or if it kind of goes through trees, but that's pretty cool. Pretty cool work. Like this one here that kind of curves around and out, that's just really cool building, and I would love to drive some of those roads. I think that's really cool. Alright, so sit back, enjoy the show. I'm going to speed this up and skip a few parts so that we can get up to Tokyo. We are flying through the southern portion, so hopefully we'll see Mount Fuji. The northern approaches look kind of interesting. You may see some more city, but I wanted to do kind of this bottom hook like I showed previously. So should be fun, should be interesting. We'll see how it goes. Other thing I did to kind of make this a challenge, I don't know if I timed it right. This flight came in to be about 1 hour 54 minutes in flight time. So it being about 5 p.m. right now and I'm flying towards the sunset, I think we should be getting there hopefully a little after dark, just to kind of make it a little bit different. I haven't really done any night flights yet in this, trying to do serious flights. I've done one or two, but I wanted to get into some of those before I delve too far into other things. So anyway, so far I'm liking the terrain. I'm loving the roads. I just wish, like South America and other areas, they had some slightly better technology to figure out how to make the buildings and other things there. I mean, Google Maps can do it. Come on. All right, we'll see you on the other side. Alright, so pretty cool flyover of Japan. Pretty cool sight of Mount Fuji there off to the left and some of the other cities coming in. Awesome to see the city at night. I'm kind of blinded by my panel lights that I can't seem to get dimmed, which is really quite agitating. Otherwise, we're very close on approach. I had a few problems with autopilot not slowing down enough to let me descend, so I came in a little hot there, and then I had to kind of take over from autopilot for a minute, and now I'm just very carefully trying to make sure that this thing does not start going too fast as it is about to, because it's trying to make my descent and final turn here. Fortunately, now we're getting fast enough that lift is going to be an issue. I'm trying to maintain right on the edge of about 140-ish knots as we finish our final descent portion here. I need to go pretty slow. I'm only on flaps 2 at the moment, so I need to very quickly get to flaps 3 and 4. I'm thinking right here in just a second, because I'm about to make my turn, and then I'll kick the approach system on. Okay, there goes flaps 3. Now we need to kick the throttle up to keep me in the air. Again, I'm trying to target around 140 knots, 150. We're doing about 145. Managed to slow it down about there. Okay, we're about to make a hard left. I might have dropped my gear a little bit early. Feels like we're coming a bit low at the moment, but hey, we are floating in the air nicely. I'll kick full flaps on here in a minute. Well, not really a minute, but so far this is going well. Much better than some of my others. I was trying also on the way in to find a hotkey for the speed brakes, but I don't think there is one, so I'm not really sure it's going to benefit me. My concern is if I move the switch now, I don't think it'll kick the speed brakes on. I think the way the Airbus works is you have to, they kick on your flare.
Maintain 1,500 feet Airbus 366.
Second. Too many, there we go. But I don't really want to flare it right now. Or at least crank those on with the potential of killing it and messing my autopilot up. I had enough issues with altitude descent right there, so alright, here comes my turn. And then very quickly I'll kick on the approach system. See the runway off my left window now. We're in line with 3-4 left. Okay, passing 3-4 left as we get ready for 3-4 right. Okay, I need to slow down a bit. Actually, I don't. What I need to do is kick flaps on more, because that's going to drop my speed. Okay, I want to turn approach on. And let approach bring me in now. There's 3-4 right. Okay, here we go. Lining me up decently. Whoa, hello, that's kind of cool. 747 coming in right above me. That was not entirely expected. Okay, I'm a bit off, but we seem to be aiming back over. There it goes. Now we're close enough for it to start bringing me down. No, 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 no on the throttle here. Keep it down, because I do not want this thing taken off on me.
Tokyo Tower Skylark 7148 miles. South inbound ILS Yankee runway 3 full right approach. Skylark 7148
Okay, we're doing good on the glide slope. Okay, I want to ride my throttle. We're slowing down a little bit, but we're still doing alright. Feel like now that the plane's pulling up a little bit, I need more. Okay, there we go. Just a little bit. We're at 130. 800 feet and dropping. Now this one's got me pretty much bang on to runway, which is nice. I'm very nervous about taking over control here. Am I at full flaps? Okay, I am at full flaps. Coming in a bit high. I need to be ready to pull control here. It's a bit of the issue without having VR on, because I cannot see over the front. Wow, this has got me bang on. Absolutely incredible. Look at this. This is the best. Look at this. Holy cow. I am so excited. Let's take this high-speed exit off and see where we go to park. And I will see you when we get to the gate. So, quick recap while the bags are loaded / unloaded. That was a really good flight. I'm a little disappointed in how kind of blah South Korea looked, considering it's South Korea. We know Japan got its update, so everything looks great in Japan. Love the airport, love the approach. I had a slight issue with descent for some reason. It didn't want to kick in and go down fast enough, so I kind of had to turn it off and go down manually. You saw that there was a little bit of a ride. I don't know what happened when I was here trying to go set my vertical speed down to -2,000. Somehow I set it to +2,000 and it shot the plane up, so I just turned autopilot off and did it manually, and I managed to bring the plane down under a fairly decent control at that point once I got it aimed in the right direction. And then once I got close to my altitude, I kicked autopilot back on, and things really worked fairly well at that point. So that was good. It was a little bit nerve-wracking coming in on the lower end, but really once we got to 4,000 feet, I got my speed down, I got my flaps out. Everything seemed to work great from that moment on, and this was a really, really great flight, and I'm very pleased and impressed with how everything went on that front. Not sure why my engines didn't turn off earlier, but the approach system brought me in beautifully. Like, I've never had an autopilot be so bang on as that one was just there. I've had some good approaches. Montreal was my previous best. DFW before that one. This one was just straight right down the middle. Beautiful. I don't know how it did it that well, but it was great. And it made my job beautiful because once I turned off autopilot, I had a little bit of a rock, just some very minor countering of the controls on my end was really all that was necessary, because beyond that, everything worked like it's supposed to, and I really didn't have to do much to get the plane on the ground at that point. It was beautiful, and I was able to really float it. I didn't even have to flare, really. I did a little bit of a flare, but it worked so well. And then really what I did was right before I landed, I just pulled the throttle back to let the plane drift down instead of trying to overdo the flare and hit the right part of the runway. I let the autopilot bring me on the right glide slope just because I've had so many control issues, and then I kind of just kept it straight from there and did the final few moments, and it was great. Pulled the flaps to bring the nose down, hit thrust reversers, and it was beautiful. So that was something that I really enjoyed. Here's those speed brakes that I mentioned. See, that's what I was afraid of. They auto-deploy at this point, and this would be a great way to slow down, and it really would help without necessarily needing to do that, but I can't come in the cockpit while I'm on the runway and do that, so that's just not going to happen. Now, I think what that does on that level is, see, that's off, this is on. If I can get this thing turned over. I believe what that does, it's not necessarily retract, but I think that kind of arms the speed brake so that, I hope that's what it does. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy and stopped it at a different level. Yeah, I think I'm crazy. Alright, well, I gotta find a way to arm them, because if I can arm the speed brakes, then as soon as I do that little flare at the end, those flaps, slats and speed brakes will kick up and slow me way down, which is exactly what I need to kind of finish the flight off. But anyway, this was just fabulous. I loved it. Pretty airplane, pretty flight, beautiful scenery. Managed to pull off my best landing to date in the game. Yes, autopilot did 90% of the work, but when I took autopilot off, everything didn't go haywire and out the window, which is great to see. So thank you guys for watching. Great suggestion for this flight. Really enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.